Don't overthink it. Trust me. Don't overthink it. The girl you want to text right now, just fucking do it. The worst thing she can say is no, or the worst thing she can do, I guess, is just leave you on red. But at least you know. At least you know. You don't want to be one of those people that end up at 80 years old and be like, oh, I wonder what if, when I was 20 years old, I texted the girl. Well, I guess I'll never know. I mean, if you want to be that guy, go ahead. I just, for me, I wouldn't want to be that guy. And I'm sure like a lot of you watching probably don't want to be that dude too. So just don't overthink it. Whatever you think that you want, you kind of deep down that you want to do right now, just do it. Trust me, just do it. Especially if you're young, because you're not gonna get any younger as the days go by. Whatever you think that whatever fears you have, don't overthink it. The more you think it, the more you think about the fears and everything, you're just gonna prevent yourself from doing it. So sometimes you have to take the jump. You gotta just jump in, take that action, because it's gonna be hard. It's gonna take a lot of courage. I guarantee you that. It's gonna take a lot of like resistance and like you telling yourself like, I gotta do this, and you gotta jump. When it feels scary to jump in, that's when you jump. That's when you take action. That's a quote from a movie. I forgot what, First Man or something, I don't know. But yeah, don't overthink it and just do it. I mean, the worst thing that could happen, in a girl, if you're asking out a girl, the worst thing she can say is no. That's it. Nothing more. And even if she like says, she gossips about you and says shit about you, well, you realize that you're still alive and people are probably going to forget about it after a month, a year. People move on and people move on real quick. So freaking get over it. It's not that big of a deal. Even by like, let's say like, I took a video just now, and I was like, it was about like a movie that I reviewed, and halfway, like it stopped recording because my iPhone storage is full. And I had a thought, and I was like, man, I gotta take this again. And another part of me was like, just freaking post it, man. Nobody's gonna care. I bet probably like a 1% of people are probably gonna make it to the end of the video anyway. So you might as well just post it, if your goal is documentation, if your goal is to let your future self, see the video, and if your goal is to let your future kids see it, then just post it. Just post it. Who cares what people think? You're doing this for you. Who cares what people think? I don't care what people think. Yeah, you think my videos are boring? Yeah, cool, awesome. Don't watch them. And honestly, it is boring, yeah. I mean, the amount of hate comments I get is like literally zero. I mean, really less, and even if they do, they actually want to help me, which means that I guess maybe it's too boring that they don't want to comment. I don't think that's a good thing. No, because I want to. If you want to know like how to see if a video is doing good, is to see if they have hate comments or a negative comment, because that shows that you triggered someone. But of course it could be in a bad way too. I don't know if I'm making sense or not, but yeah, probably not making sense. But it's my opinion, whatever. But yeah, I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm just gonna flow with it, gonna stick with what I say, and whatever happens, it is what it is. But of course, there's an important caveat. Like, you don't want to be that dude, in a helicopter and be like, yeah, I'm just gonna skydive like out of nowhere, or I don't know how to use a parachute. Yeah, I don't overthink it and just jump. Like, that's just stupidity, because that involves life and death. You don't want to do things that there's a high risk that you can die. If like there's a really obvious risk that you could die from doing this, then you should probably think twice, right? But because I used to be one of those people that that would overthink it, that would overthink myself to not take action. Like, I would overthink it, and I think that kind of held me back to do a lot of things. So now I'm trying to move from here to close to the middle. Here's like extroversion and here's like introversion. So I'm trying to be in the middle. I thought I was like a bit left. I was a bit too introverted last time. So I gotta move in the middle. And funny thing is, by Asian standards, I'm probably quite extroverted, but American standards, I'm probably introverted, which is kind of interesting because it's different among cultures. In Malaysia, like I would probably be considered an extrovert, but I would still call myself an introvert, to be honest. But yeah, maybe I'm just overthinking. Maybe I'm just overthinking things, huh? I should just keep talking. No, I should think before I speak, of course. There's a gray area to this. Sometimes you do gotta think, but sometimes you really just gotta take action, and live with the result. Like in basketball, Michael Jordan says, when you take a shot, there's only two things that can happen. You either make it or you miss it. That's it. And the thing is that most people, they put so much pressure on themselves. They overthink like the shot that they miss or the shot that they made. They think too much about it, and then they lose hold of the present moment, and then they miss the next shot. So yeah, you gotta really just move on, and just stop overthinking it and just shoot it. Just shoot that shit. Miss, make, whatever, doesn't matter. You took that shot. That's what matters. Now we can talk about shot selection and all that like in a different video, but most people overthink things. I think most people overthink things. I think there's like really less people that that would just not think and just do. They would like not think about anything and just do it. You want to be that dude that does both, that he thinks before he does, but when the time is right, he's like, okay, this thinking is not going to do anything anymore. At some point, you have to take action. You have to just say, fuck it, I'm going for it. You gotta wait. You gotta do that. You have to do that. That's what I learned in life. You have to take that leap. No one's gonna take it for you. Your parents, your friends, they're not gonna take it for you. They're not gonna make the decisions for you for the rest of your life. You gotta make your own decisions. You gotta decide what kind of life you want to live. You gotta take responsibility for your life because it's your life. Of course, your parents. Give credit to your parents. They gave you your life, but eventually, you're doing them a disservice by living their life because they are unique individuals. They have their own life. God has given them their life, and they are supposed to live their own lives. But when they give a life to you, when you are born, when they give life to you, God gives life to you. It is kind of your duty to live the way that you want to live authentically to yourself. I think that is everyone's duty, to live like yourself, to be yourself, I guess, within boundaries, of course. If someone said like, oh yeah, I'm being myself by killing someone, then you're probably gonna go to jail, man. There's boundaries here, so you gotta be careful with it. Like I always say, life is gray. Life is not black and white. There's always a caveat. There's always like there's no absolutes. There's no definite answer. You can probably be 80-70% correct, but you can never be 100% correct. There is no such thing as that. There is no such thing as, oh yeah, I'm freaking right. I'm damn right. No such thing. But if you want to convince people, sometimes you gotta use force. Like in the army, how they influence people to work to fight in wars. Like, they are the enemy. Don't overthink that. No, don't think that they're like somehow trying to help you. They are the enemy. That's what they program into the soldiers. So when they see them on the battlefield, they have no doubts and they just shoot it. So there is a time and place, of course, but that's just my opinion. See, I'm talking about don't overthink it, and I'm literally overthinking things. I think that's a gift, that's a curse. I don't know. who knows, the curse of overthinking or the gift of overthinking, depending on how you look at it. So, yeah, I think it is a gift. It is a gift. And now I want to hold my gift of just taking action. Just taking action, even though I'm scared, even though I'm sometimes scared about the results, but knowing that I can live with the results because I took action. I made the decision. No, it's no one else's fault. I can only blame myself. And I think there is freedom in that. There is freedom in knowing that you can't blame anyone else but yourself. You take full accountability. You take full responsibility for the actions that you take. And I think that's a gift. That's a gift. That really is a gift. That is freedom. That is freedom to make your own choices and to live with those consequences. Because at least if I suffer consequences, I can say is I made the decision and I live with it because I made it and I made a mistake, but can't really regret it because I chose it. And I can only blame myself. And I find freedom in that. There is great freedom in blaming yourself only. Because imagine if I blamed my parents and said, "Oh yeah, they told me to do this. They told me to go to college, so that's why I'm not successful now. That's why I'm not doing well now." And you're probably right. Maybe they are at fault. But until you blame yourself and you take full responsibility for your life, then your life will never change. So you really have to stop blaming yourself, I guess. To not really blame yourself, to just take responsibility for your life and not be a victim. Yeah, not be a victim. Don't be a victim of life. Don't be like, "Oh, it's that person that I'm not successful. It's this or that." It's easy for you to say. I mean, you can't. I mean, I used to be like that. I had fun in the past being that person, but in a long enough time frame, that gets old. Being the victim all the time. It gets boring. Don't you think it's boring being the victim all the time? Don't you want to be the main character like once in a while? Don't you? Oh, you don't? Yeah, you're right. Okay, stay. Stay being that dude that keeps being a victim. I mean, it probably makes you happy, so I'm not gonna judge you. But yeah, I wasn't happy with that, so that's why I changed. That's why I just want to be. Just want to not be a victim and just be myself and blame myself when shit hits the fan. Like, not really blame, like just take responsibility for it, even though it's not my fault. But I still have to solve this problem. And yeah, I think doing that has really given me peace of mind, and it just made me, I think, a better person, like a better person for society. I think that's good. And I think should more people not be a victim? Should more people take responsibility for their lives? I think, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. I think, yeah, absolutely. Everybody should take responsibility for their lives. They should. To make society better, to live a more meaningful life, to live a more fulfilling life. I think it starts with that. But yeah, stop overthinking it. Film your first YouTube video and just post it on YouTube. Nobody's really gonna care. Sure, you might think they care, but really they don't. They move on with their lives, and eventually you realize that you move on too, and everybody dies in the end. You never. No one can escape entropy. So just keep striving. Realize that the journey is the destination. It is the thing that you want, and it is the thing that you have right now, which you tend to forget because you're told that that the journey is I mean, you're told that the destination is everything, but I tell you what, when you get there, you realize that you just wasted 10-20 years of your life just getting to that destination, and you realize that you did not enjoy the journey, that you did not savor the journey. Which, I mean, even after that, I mean, you're still alive, so nothing wrong with that. But I just wouldn't do that. I would rather enjoy the journey, if I can, of course. if I can. But yeah, I want to have the best of both worlds. But yeah, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Post your first video, ask that girl out, or maybe just quit that job and find a way, because you realize that you're still alive. You're not gonna die if you don't eat for like one day. You're not gonna die. You're not gonna die, bro. You're still alive. You're still alive. As long as you're still alive, your ancestors will be proud, and as long as you're trying your very best, your ancestors will be proud. So yeah, good night, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.